Silence. All right, welcome to our show, Complete Geek. I'm Whiskey Gamer, and this is my boy, Violent Desperado. This is Complete Geek. We talk about everything geeky, nerdy, everything geeky and nerdy.
Everything, like
Everything.
completely. Hence, complete geek. Complete.
Indeed. And so today, I think we're going to. Our first topic is it's Game of Thrones because that's all the hype right now. Game of Thrones.
Literally, just finished watching the third episode in the sixth season, and this ridiculous accent has emerged from my mouth as a response to the overjoy that I am feeling following this episode.
I need more enunciation on your part.
More enunciation. More. I could go with
So-
several different variations of accents. Several.
So I'm one of the few who hasn't actually watched the show. Like I watched a couple of the first episodes, but like I didn't really feel like watching the show because like I had read the books. I'm that guy. I'm the guy who read the books.
So you're the pretentious ass that was going around telling everybody, "Oh, that's a deviation from the book." So
Right. That was me.
see, I was the guy who was watching the episodes and then going, "Oh, I've never seen this show before. It's like Lord of the Rings, but with boobs and blood." And then after watching the episodes, I would go and I would search up wikis on the books and then tell people that I read them. But I don't have the time to do that.
Oh, so you're that asshole, the asshole
Yes,
who
I am that
never
pretentious asshole.
Yeah, you never actually read anything in your life. You don't know what reading actually is.
Oh no, I've read them. I just didn't have the time to read, the Bible that is the Song of Fire and Ice.
Yes. So I mean, speaking of which, I think we all know how this series is going to end.
Yes, everyone dies.
Everyone dies. The entire world burns under fire and ice and lightning. There always has to be lightning, even though I know it says fire and ice, but there has to be lightning. So I mean, that's just the way it is.
I'm pretty certain that one of the teasers for the upcoming season had Winterfell covered in snowing with lightning, which I've never seen lightning in the snow before. So that was frightening, but also very cool. But yes, everyone's going to die. Everyone's going to die. Fala,
Everyone dies. Horrible death.
So they gave the show because they said that D.B. Weiss and the other showrunner said that they had figured out the ending to the show, and that's why George had said, "Sure, you can do it." And I'm pretty sure that conversation went down. Hey, we think we know the ending to the show, and he was like, "Oh, what is that?" And they were like, "Everybody dies." And he was like, "Oh, you can do it." I'm pretty sure that's how that went down.
Yeah.
Almost lost the accent there.
Well, good on you, mate, because I cannot do that accent for the life of me.
I must stress that I'm beyond excited that Jon Snow has reemerged, has come back. He's come back from the dead.
Man, you're supposed to throw a spoiler warning out in front of that.
Oh, spoiler alert! It's all over TV, and Entertainment Weekly said he's alive, Kit Harington. So if you aren't paying attention to the world of pop culture, it's not like you have to have an HBO account. People, I mean, it's pirating everywhere, all over.
No, but fucking seriously,
now changed.
I don't give a shit about your spoilers because I don't watch the show. I already stated this. I do not fucking watch
book
the show.
reader. Pretentious book. Oh, I read the book, so now I'm better than everyone.
No,
Game of Thrones.
But I can't even say that anymore. It's beyond what what is out in book form now. Now it's beyond that. So it's I guess exciting. I don't know.
No, you don't know. You know nothing.
I know nothing.
You know nothing.
You know nothing, Whiskey Gamer.
It's quite good. Some of the predictions I had made previously, I had said I thought that Jon would come back from the dead.
Well, that was a given. That's not so much a prediction.
But there were several different ways it could have happened. It happened pretty much the most predictable way possible.
Yeah.
I also think that what's interesting is that I also said he would leave the Night's Watch because he's dead, so he's lived up to his oath. Also, spoiler alert, that happened today. He took off his
Yes.
cloak and he said, my watch is ended. I said, oh, Jon
Well,
Snow knows something now.
well, to be fair, he fucking died for the Night's Watch, so like you can't really give him that much grief for it. Who ended up taking over for Captain Commander, whatever?
His little buddy who was on his side.
What, Sam?
No. Tarly left. Tarly went to the Citadel,
Yeah,
supposedly.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
But no, he's not. We actually found out he lied. He's not headed to the Citadel. He's headed home.
Well, I mean, he's wait, he went home? Like
Yeah.
home that he was kicked out of home?
Yup. Bad idea.
Bad idea.
Yeah, should
Like
just go to the
100% bad
Citadel.
idea.
Yeah, very bad. Very bad.
Uh
Jon Snow. Snow! So it's a Game of Thrones. And then, when everybody's dead, it'll be a Game of Bones.
Game of Bones.
Game of Bones. Well, I mean, if they're having sex, and it's already a Game of Bones, right?
Wow, that is pretty disturbing right there.
Oh,
I am
jab.
So, I mean, I'm wondering. I don't know where we're going to go from here.
I mean, I don't. I think it's fairly predictable right now what's happening. I think we're going to find out that Jon Snow's a Targaryen.
Well,
I think,
that's the word out there, but I think he's going to. Me personally, I think he's going to become like the king or emperor or whatever of the North and be in command of both the Wall and Starks and all that shit, and then like Daenerys will take over in the South, and she'll be like, how do I merge these realms? And she's gonna be like, I want to fuck this guy. That's
well,
what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fuck him.
I will say there was actually one major development I did not see coming, which was in this episode they revealed that Rickon Stark is alive, and he is now being held by Ramsay Bolton.
Really? Well, that's not gonna turn out well.
No, not at all. Because
Because I
now,
mean,
if Rickon dies, it's Sansa's fault.
yeah, yeah. Fucking Sansa, that little piece of shit gets the short end of the stick no matter what she does.
Well, we finally got a little sneak peek of the next episode, and it looks like Mr. Peter Baelish is making a resurgence, and he's looking for Sansa. So there will be some blood on the walls.
On the wolves.
I never knew your mother. I'm just a bastard.
I'm a bastard.
Boo-hoo, my father.
Nobody loves me. Where? Fuck you. So that's something I did want to talk about is I hate TV show Jon Snow. I hate him. Okay, he's like my second most hated character on the show. Book Jon Snow, I loved. Like he was my favorite character, one of my favorite characters. You can't have one favorite character. He was one of my favorite characters in the book.
So I think they're doing that on purpose. I think the entire time they're trying to just kind of tear you down to build you up. So in the end, when he returns back from the dead, as such, he comes back with a little bit more of a badass. I mean, I think he should change his name. I mean, he needs to roll down as King of the North, John Stark.
I can never. Well, I guess he could. I mean, there aren't that many Starks left.
I mean, maybe that's why they've shown Rickon, because if Rickon dies.
Oh, Rickon's gonna fucking die. We already know this.
So because Rickon's going to die, then John has no choice because Rickon is the heir. Because
Right.
they don't know where Bran is. So if Rickon is the heir and he gets slaughtered,
Which he will.
Ramsay's putting himself in a corner. Because Ramsay is just going off on a tangent. He's just selling out all his other families. He's just like a mad dog. Which he fed his brother to a mad dog. His baby brother.
Yeah, well, That's what happens when you're psychotic.
I hear your Final Fantasy ringtone. I think that's a good segue into our next segment.
Are we gonna go? Are we gonna go ahead and do this?
I mean, we might as well. I mean, that's a beautiful segue.
Are you gonna lose the accent, or are you maintaining?
I will. Should I maintain the accent?
I believe you should, good sir.
Well, let's keep going then.
So I have been noticing, and I had this conversation with you the other day, that there is a epic amount of taking and remasterings and reimaginings and refuckerings and redigglings and
Did you say diggery?
Yes, diggling. Of retro video games, or older video games, and sometimes not even that old of video games.
Diggery.
But, yeah, diggery. Diggory Stark, if you would, which should be a thing. But okay, but let's look at the rhino in the room because I don't like elephants. Fucking the reimagining of Final Fantasy VII, which if you haven't seen anything on it, is looking amazing.
I have to change my pants now. You just said Final Fantasy VII, and you said the word remake, and it's like, oh, what? Change my pants now.
Yep. There
it is.
There it is. There it is.
I have to say, I didn't expect it would actually ever happen. I mean, it's such a large game, and for them to, I mean, the graphics alone, I mean, the story, and then they decided to put it into several episodes, and I said, sure, I'll take all my money. Let me give you my bank account and wire the money directly to you. Square Enix, here you go. Here's my wallet. Here's my blood. You need my blood? I'll give you my blood.
So I am thoroughly pumped for that, and I know I'm not the only one. There's so many people out there who are pumped for that. I don't even know, and I've seen the trailers, and I've got my fingers on the pulse of this.
It was the first game that broke me a little hard. At the end of the first disc, and I was like, spoiler alert. We're not going to talk about spoiler for all the little youngsters out there that aren't listening, because no one's listening to this, but all the little pretend youngsters that haven't played the game because they're too pretentious to play a game with only, what was it, 32 bits, something like that?
Yeah.
Little jerks.
Like Polygon.
It was on 3 discs. What do you mean they were only 700 megabytes?
No, so yeah, reimagining of Final Fantasy VII, absolutely on point. So let's talk about a couple other games, okay? So they just had the game about a movie about a game, which is Ratchet and Clank, get released. Even though they haven't had the movie released yet, so I don't know how that works. But
I thought it was could be out. Maybe it's coming out. But this is a good thing.
Out.
I mean, I may use an excuse as to research and development. Ratchet and Clank. And I think they're just trying to capitalize on this pop culture fad of using the word ratchet for everything. Look at this.
Ratchet ass.
This whore is ratchet whore. Look at
so
this.
I know that they did that. There's been a bunch of games out there where they took old titles and they remastered them. So, Final Fantasy X did it. Kingdom Hearts did it. Fucking bunch of other games did it. So it's this big push to take old stuff and bring it back to the new. And in a lot of cases, I'm not against it.
Personally, I'm all for it. I mean, certain games can't be done. Certain games lose some tractions. For example, the Kingdom Hearts, the first one. In the first Kingdom Hearts, the original audio is gone because I guess they couldn't encode it the same way. So they had to re-record the audio, which is even better because now it actually flows along with the rest of the series because they changed Billy Zane's voice.
Right. Which that's why I'm okay with it,
Which is super sad that he's a really weird racist person because I really liked Billy Zane. Until I found out that you should not like Billy Zane.
until you found out that that was a bad thing.
I said, oh no, you mustn't like Billy Zane.
So, and I forget when. I think it's around the corner. Is Kingdom Hearts 3's release?
Oh goodness. Shed a tear out of me ass right now.
Now I tell you what, Kingdom Hearts was another fucking tearjerker series for me. Like that's another one that grabbed my heartstrings and jerked them all up and down until I just fucking came blood all over the place.
Kingdom Hearts was like, I played it in high school, and it's like, oh, this is the greatest game ever. When is part 2 going to come out? And then I joined the army, and several years later, I was playing the game as an adult. Like, you waited this long for a sequel, and it was the same system. It was
Right,
like
right.
5 years later, and then suddenly they're like, oh, we're gonna skip an entire generation, and we're just gonna re-release these HD masters that give you all these little side quest games that really don't have anything to do with it. And we'll release this Kingdom Hearts 3 thing that was like a mythological creature. It was a unicorn of the gaming universe. And suddenly, here we are, practically, what, almost 2 decades later?
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, surprise, Kingdom Hearts 3. A bunch of people who'd never played this game. So it'd be a bunch of old dudes hanging around playing a game with Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy.
But
Think
I feel no shame whatsoever because I will play the fuck out of it, and I
I
have.
I would play that game with all of my doors shut and my windows closed proudly.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's just one of those things, you know. I have been a fan of Kingdom Hearts for so many years now.
It was a
So,
great story, and there's so much they could do now. Now they have Marvel Universe to play with. They've got Star Wars.
well,
Maybe
I don't.
go back to Tron. Who knows?
I loved in the second one where they brought Tron in. That was fantastic, fan fucking tastic. Because okay, I was that kid on Sunday watching the B movie reel on just analog TV, which none of you kids out there now know what the fuck analog is.
This is dated. You're dated.
B movie day, middle of the day with fucking
I
and
think you need
Tron
to
comes
check your
out.
expiration date there, brother.
Tron, oh, you're one to fucking talk. I was an adult when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out. Shut the fuck up.
Ah, dated. My expiration date. Oh, but I'm like Jon Snow. I come back from the dead.
Come back
Just
from the
like
dead.
Kingdom Hearts came back from the dead.
No, but I'm actually playing through the remastered version of the first one right now, and it's just it's glorious. It's just jizz your pants glorious.
I need to do that because it has all the extras in it. I
Yeah,
haven't played it, and I wanted to reintroduce it to my children.
yeah, yeah. I
Done.
mean, it's perfect time because it's
I
got
know.
Donald and fucking Goofy and Mickey in it. Okay.
Yes. And then the woman, she likes all the Disney stuff. She likes the Little Mermaid and all that. It'd be
Yes.
great. She's just getting into the game. She's a Minecraft freak now. She's always playing this Minecraft. Which Minecraft in itself isn't that technically like a retro game? It's got retro graphics and you're doing all these retro things and it's like, what? And I'm not gonna go off on a Minecraft tangent because there's Minecraft videos everywhere. Sticking to Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts. So
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
So bloody excited.
Let's stick to our remastered games. But Kingdom Hearts in it, I can't go on enough about this. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of Sora's.
Sora's kind of unimportant. It's everyone else that's interesting. Riku's interesting. Even
Yeah.
Kairi, who has zero presence in the first film, is more interesting than pretentious, self-righteous Sora.
Yes, it's like let's all be friends. Let's not kill no one. Blah blah blah.
He's
With that.
he is just simply the point of view character.
Although I did want to bring something out that has bothered me since playing the second one is like Kyrie pops up and Sora goes, "That's great, but where's Riku?" You know, it's like, In the whole first game, he was like running around, where's Kyrie? Where's Kyrie? And then in the second one, it's like, you're hot now, so I'm gonna go look for Riku. You go do that. Whatever.
That that's actually I didn't even consider this a kind of odd. It's like all of a sudden he's like, oh, you know what? That's kind of weird. But I mean, it is also strange that when they split up Sora into several different pieces, one of them was a girl.
Yeah, that's true. But I think from a psychological perspective, that makes perfect sense.
Because he was looking for Riku.
No. It's because every man has a certain amount of feminine qualities. That's the only thing that allows us to actually interact with the other gender.
Is this how you're going to do this now? Is this the venue that you're choosing to
I
show
don't know what you're trying to say, man.
You're coming out of the proverbial digital closet here.
No, and fuck you.
Are you opening the door to Kingdom Hearts right now? Are you showing me the light that's inside?
Listen, I am not the gatekeeper. You are not the keymaster, okay? So none of that's gonna fly.
Interestingly enough, they use keys and holes in the parts. Okay, a lot more context than I ever really thought about.
So,
this accent has devolved into so many different variations of bastardization of this language.
But there is another right. There is another game that I wanted to talk about. Another game that got not just really remastered, but it got like a whole new. It was put into basically a whole new engine and everything. And I talked to you about it before, and I want to see if you can remember what game I'm talking about. And you have no fucking clue, do you?
No Star Ocean, was it?
No, that was another thing altogether.
My ADD is going off. Boop, boop, boop. No, can't remember.
Yeah. Well, faggoty Ann, I am talking about Homeworld.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Homeworld, when they did that, that was fantastically done, and I absolutely loved it. And I had way too much joy over that because I had fond memories of it back in the day, So it was
back in the day, which was a Wednesday.
It was a Wednesday actually, but that carried on into a Tuesday. You understand?
It went backwards.
Mm.
Much
went,
like you. It's kind of backwards.
No, it went forwards all the way back around for a week.
Oh, you like coming all the way around, huh? Reach your end.
Okay. No.
This guy over here is Homeworld.
Just for you, girl. Just for you.
Flattered. Utterly flattered.
But how about you, man? How about you? Do you have any new remastered, reimagined games coming out that you got an interest in?
Coming out? No. I'm just on overload with Final Fantasy. And with the remake and with Kingdom Hearts, like they keep releasing all these versions. I need to get the games. I'm just it's flooding my mind. I'm trying to contemplate how they can take the story, because part 1 was just perfection, and then part 2 it was even better.
Are we talking about Kingdom Hearts?
Yes.
Well, the problem with Kingdom Hearts is that there's so many other like midway games. Like so much other shit just happens in between, and you're sitting there left going, I guess,
Yeah, they might have a problem tying it all in. I mean, but the second one didn't really have the problem because it was only one other game, and they kind of wrapped it up in the very beginning. But this one has a lot of tie-ins. I mean, if the story's expansive enough, I mean, they've been making the game for I mean, what's a good timeline? I mean, they've been making the game since what? Since Robert Baratheon was king. I mean, I mean, geez. Uh, the game should be immense. If it doesn't take you, 5 years until the next Kingdom Hearts game just to beat this one, then they haven't done the job.
Yeah, I mean, I should literally have to spend, literally, not figuratively, have to spend just forever on these games. It honestly, I'm wondering if they're going to stick to the level 100 level cap that they've been doing in the first one. Let me correct myself. The first one was level 99 level
99,
cap,
yeah, it's 99.
and then the second one was level 100. That one level difference was huge.
It was huge.
It was just an incredible difference in the entire game.
In the second game, if you basically just if you grinded properly, you could. I mean, just Sora was just racing through the game. I mean, it was the first game. It would take you fighting Sephiroth. It took me like 11 or 12 tries before I beat him. In the second game, and there's 2 times. It's like, oh, it was
Yeah.
difficult. Second time, like what?
Yeah, I think the Sephiroth fight in the first one was definitely harder than the second one. I would agree with that.
That first Sephiroth fight was one of the hardest fights in any game ever. Like it was worse than the Rainbow Road.
Worse than Rainbow Road. That's stressing it there, man. Rainbow Road was pretty rough. Okay.
That Sephiroth fight was so frustrating. All I remember was hearing, what was it? Something Reaper Sin, and he would just say those words, and it was like, your life was gone. You better use a Mega Elixir right away.
Yeah. Dropping health left and
Sin's
right.
Harvest. That's what it was. Sin's Harvest. And then, so bad. So bad.
Well, because I remember the first time I tried to fight him in the first game, I was not maxed out on my level, and I got fucked. I just got rocked. And I was sitting there going, "What have I done?"
What have I done? I think what's more interesting, just fun fact on the side, is that the original voice for Sephiroth, even though he had no lines, it was just the voice of his grunting and of Sin's Harvest, was done by Lance Bass of NSYNC.
Really? You're
Yes.
shitting me.
No.
Wow.
And they replaced his voice in the second one because he had actual lines, and they were like, "No, we'll just go with the guy who voiced him in the movie." But I do think that actually, like, thinking about it, that androgynous voice probably would have been really good for Sephiroth.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I can't wait to see Sephiroth in the new game. I can't, because I remember distinctly, I remember the first time I saw Sephiroth, but the most distinct moment in my entire gaming life is seeing Sephiroth holding his sword while he's in the fire of that village, and I'm just like, oh my god.
They made the guy into a complete monster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're sitting next to him the first time you're fighting with him, and you're hitting people and you're knocking off 5 hit points, and he's slicing people in half.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, I got a hit count of 5 on this giant dragon fuck all monster.
And then the game introduces you to this giant snake, this big serpent that takes you 4 hours to defeat, which was equivalent to the Sephiroth fight in the Kingdom Hearts. And then he's already slayed one and put it on a pike.
Yeah, because I don't know about everyone else, but a bunch of us just completely skipped Chocoboville there and went straight to that fight because we're a bunch of fucking morons.
Oh, I was trying to grind. I wanted to find the most difficult monsters and get stronger. I realized I was fucking stupid. It's a bloody joke.
Now, I do want to talk about something else with retro games as opposed to new games, is saving.
Oh,
because in retro games, and I realized this when I was playing Final Fantasy IX the other day. In retro games, they didn't really have so much a continue or anything like that, or they didn't have automatic saving.
I don't even think you could explain that to them now. A continue. What are lives? You just respawn. with all
Yeah,
your stuff still intact. You
yeah.
don't even lose your items.
You can't
Oh,
explain.
you have to save. What about the days of the games where there wasn't even a save, where you had to play the game your first run? You had to beat it in 3 hours because if the power went out, your game was gone.
Oh yeah. Oh no, no, no. I remember the passcodes. Do you remember the passcode system that they introduced?
Oh, like Mega Man X.
Yeah, yeah. So you had just this sheet, just like miles long, and you're writing down passcodes religiously.
It's awful. It's awful. I'd never want to go back to those days. USB, USB.
Hmm.
But the other thing is, like I remember Final Fantasy VII as a specific memory, because it was the first game I ever got for PlayStation. I had never had a PlayStation. I had a Nintendo 64, and everybody was talking about PlayStation. I was like, I hate you all. I like these cartridges. And then I buy this PlayStation, and the first game I get is Final Fantasy VII, and then I'm playing the first level, and the monster kills me, and I can't go back because I don't have this memory card. I said, what?
Hmm.
So I had to leave the disc in and the game on and make sure that I didn't die for about 2 weeks, because if I died and I got out of Midgar, I was going to go right back to Midgar because I did not have a memory card. Awful. Bloody awful. I don't know that I could shake the socks on it. It might just stick around. I might be walking to work tomorrow and be like, oh damn, I sound like Harry Potter.
No, fucking, I don't know. It's just that concept of saving during a game was just brutal to me. Um, that not back in the day, but just like now, when I go back and play retro games, I'm just like, oh my god, how did I do this?
Good God. How? How did I live?
How did I live without the easy peasy autosave system and shit like that? And
We're
no one
all
understands that.
spoiled. We're spoiled now. Now we can stream our games directly to people. Oh, by the way, look what I did. Woo. Before you had to
Yeah.
tell your friends, oh, hey, I did this in the game. And they'd be like, no, you didn't. You can't do that. You never did it. Somebody else did it. You didn't do it. And you're like, oh,
Like,
now you can prove it.
here's a Polaroid image of what I did.
Oh, you know, hold on while I go and get this film developed at Walmart.
Wow, are we done dating ourselves yet?
Oh, goodness gracious. I'm going to unplug my computer now. Just going to yell at it for several minutes after I'm done. Why? You are so old. Why can't you be a Raspberry Pi? Raspberry Pi!
Oh, but yeah, no. My enthusiasm and excitement for this this love and embracing of remaking and remastering and reimagining games is it's just I can't express it in true words. Now I know there's some contention on it because people are like they're sitting around and they're going, well, they're just selling the same shit to us again. Well, yeah, but
But,
I don't have
but
to go. I don't have to go and dig up my PlayStation and plug it in and find a TV that works on it just so that I can play Final Fantasy VII.
and it's
Hi.
not analog, and it's not this ugly settings, and when it plays, it's on a smaller screen in the middle of your screen,
Right.
and it's
No.
and it's only what is it, 240i. What is it? What do they call standard? It's awful. They don't
I,
even,
I
I feel
yeah,
like I turned my tube TV and it's a flat screen, and it shouldn't look like a tube TV.
I think I've looked it up. I think N64 put out 480.
Dear God, dear God, that's
So
like
I mean,
watching a VHS.
as I sit
Oh,
in
do you
front of
watch
my
Betamax? I have that on Laserdisc. Like, good God.
so since we are on this topic, I guess I'll just kind of segue this in just at the end here. But I was reading the other day.
Oh, you read. Surprise.
I do read. I was reading online, oddly enough, because what's this offline shit you talk about? Uh, but apparently they don't have like an updated HD copy of the original Star Wars before all the extra shit was added in.
No, I heard that it was lost to time.
Yeah, well, or George Lucas took it, threw it in the backyard, and set it on fire. Is essentially what it comes down to.
George Lucas has been systematically uh, destroying his legacy. Like
hmm
nobody wants to admit that he just basically hates Star Wars.
He
He's
hates
just
it. He
he's
hates
like,
it with a fiery
I
passion. He
don't
hates
want to be remembered for this.
George Lucas hates the fact that his fans love what he put out. Like it's like, oh, I didn't put this out for you. I put this out
Now,
for me.
I'm going to go ahead and just throw this out there since it's part of the conversation. And this is not to get off the Star Wars. We need to just go ahead and IPR that and throw that for another segment. But apparently, I just saw this thing earlier on Tech Insider, a souped up $500 American money Nintendo system that plays regular NES games and Super NES games, but puts out the games at 1080p.
I would throw all my money at that. Just take it all. Take all my
It's
money.
only $500. I mean, if you'd buy $500 for a brand new system, you'd spend it for this retro thing. I'm going to send you the link, and I think the discussion needs to be that we need to get this. I think we need to review it. I think we need to talk about it.
No, I'm on board.
Yep,
I am 100% on board.
there it is.
Um,
There it is.
and I not only do I say, and I guess this does tie into our retro gaming spiel.
Literally, that beep, that was it just sent it to you.
But I mean, I guess you did. I see the beep of you just sending it to me.
Yep, that is.
Yeah, I want to have sex with that. Can I just like fuck that silly?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think the biggest problem right now is that like, have you actually looked into getting like converters in order to like upscale shit to like your TV now? It's
No,
ridiculous. It's
no.
ridiculous. I've sat down and I've done the research, and it's absolutely ridiculous. It's fucking mind-boggling.
Huh.
Um,
I did not know that was a thing.
it is a thing. This is coming from your tech guy, the Whiskey Gamer. Um,
Coming from your tech guy.
but I don't know. I think we need to get that. We need to sit down. We need to stream it. We need to fuck it. We need to. Are there other things that we can do to it? We need to find out what else we can do to it.
I do believe he listed off every possibility right there.
It was that every possibility. Just shove it up my ass. Shove it all the way up my ass.
That is that was the last one. It's there. There it is.
By the way, did it say how much it was?
The system 500.
500.
I told you
Well,
it's actually not that it's not impossible. It's
is
not
it
some ridiculous amount of money.
is it sad that we're willing to shell out that much cash? Like that's essentially a Xbox One, more than an Xbox One, for something to play our old games.
You you're asking if that's sad. We just spent an hour of our time talking about games. No. No, I would spend $500 to actually play the games that I've spent an hour of my life talking about. Yes, that's not sad. It'd be sad if it was the opposite. And I said, I just spent an hour of my life talking about something I will never play. That's
So
ridiculous.
I will say it right now. This goes to all the gamers, all the developers, all the console owners out there, all the big league console developer blah blah blahs, Microsoft, fuck alls, the other people. Um, Go out there, make a system that will allow me to play every game from your old systems, and I will buy it. I will fucking buy it. I will spend $500 on that shit in a heartbeat because I'm a gamer and I love my games.
Gamer. Don't know where that came from, but it came out anyway.
Keep out.
There it is.
Okay, let's call it good, man.
Yep,
This is
this was a good one. This was a good one.
this is your boys at Complete Geek, signing off and such.
Ya boys. Ya boys.
Till later.